Many people ask me, how do you use they them pronouns for a singular person?
Sorry, not interested. Here's something else that is interesting for you. A new anime recap, hope you enjoy it. The anime begins with a guy called Bai. He's the dumbest white-haired loser on Earth and is the only person in this realm who is still stuck at the same level.
Wake up to reality.
そのsharingan、お前はどこまで見えている？
Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world.
なんてね。思った通りだ。
The anime begins with a guy called Bai. He's the dumbest white-haired loser on Earth and is the only person in this realm who is still stuck at the same level, level 1, and he's been stuck there for over 3,000 years, just like a disgusting noob. He's desperate to find a breakthrough in this world of magic to prove he's worthy. In this world, there are different realms, and we see that Bai was in the Establishment Foundation realm when he was still a kid. 3,000 years later, there was an attack on the Sword Sect realm by Thunder Beasts. One of the clan members thought he could take out all of the beasts alone like Naruto, but the poor loser just got isekai to hell with a lightning bolt. Multiple people die within seconds as they are struck by lightning. Just then, the king of the Ming Sword Sect, a leader named Yunji, appears and fights the beast with his ultimate skills. He thought he could solo the entire pack of beasts, but he wet his pants the moment he saw how many there were. Yunji realizes that the beasts are very powerful after he assesses the damage they have caused, and he orders all of his men to attack, just so he could protect his ass. Meanwhile, a person is seen watching and enjoying the fight from a tree, giving off a smirky smile. Elsewhere, the loser Bai was working on his powers in the Kai Refining Realm establishment, and he demonstrates his immense power that actually reaches the sky. However, it soon dies down, and from the enormous hole in the sky, a huge wave of water falls down. After being left gasping for air and catching his breath, he gets angry at the immortals because 3,000 years have passed, and he still has not reached the Foundation Establishment realm. Bai steps out and hears loud noises coming from the bottom of the hill. Yunji realizes that they cannot fight all of them, so he sends someone to fetch Bai from Mount 7 Star. However, he meets him midway as Bai uses a cableway since he cannot fly. He seems irritated at the sight of him flying. Bai takes his sword and jumps down, leaving him stranded. Just when everyone is tired of fighting, a whistle forces the Thunder Beasts to fall back. At that moment, a man emerges from the smoke and Yunji recognizes him as the supreme elder of the demon sect, Huangfu Fang. He reveals that he passed the test of immortality and now wants to improve himself further, so he commands to battle the Swordmaster, but Yunji refuses as Bai is focusing on cultivation and retreat. Huangfu reveals how he sent the beast first, which angers Yunji and causes him to attack, but he falls back as the demon demonstrates great power. Just then, Bai makes an epic landing, causing severe damage to the land. The demon leaves no chance to show off, making Bai insecure about his powers. He refuses to fight Huangfu since there is no point, but Bai is baffled at how a demon is also in the Great Realm when he isn't. However, his insults make him angry, so he decides to fight him. They both wreak chaos as they duel. Surprisingly, Bai's attacks are so swift that they send Huangfu flying. He is no match for Bai, despite passing the immortal test. Yunji faints, seeing the damage the two have caused, mainly Bai since he defeated Huangfu. However, instead of being angry, he asks Bai to train him, but is immediately rejected since Bai can't even fly. In the Kai Refining Realm, Bai has to eat pills to prolong his life. But Huangfu tells Bai that he knows the secret to his Foundation establishment route. This intrigues Bai, and he grabs his arm, offering him to come along. He doesn't know what the secret is, but Huangfu just got it from someone in the Blessed Sect who told him to give it to Bai. However, Yunji is petrified because of the loss and the cost to repair it. Bai gives Huangfu a death stare, so he promises to pay double for all the damages. Only then does Yunji agree to translate the secret paper for Bai. Just when he is offering tribute, he is spooked by someone, and it turns out to be Zoling from the Hades realm, who is apparently a ghost. He asks him to give up since it's been 3,000 years, but Bai is determined even if he has to eat a pill every 50 years to prolong his life. The ghost is promised a promotion if he takes Bai to the ghost world. He challenges Bai that if he wins in a fight against him, he is taking him from the land of the living. Yunji is seen praying, but Bai tells him it is useless since he has been doing it for 3,000 years now. So he gives him the herbs he ordered and then tells him to repair his roof since it got damaged when he was fighting with Zoling. After that, he sends him flying out the roof and shows off his transformation skills to Yunji as he turns into a girl. Yunji then goes on to find the celestial heart herb for Bai. After a while, Bai throws up when he is dropped off on a flying sword, and he is now even more determined to reach the foundation level so he can fly. Just then, a bunch of strong men hide when they see Bai approaching. They are surprised when they see he is not scared of them. Just when they are about to attack him, they are kicked off and sent flying by a boy. The boy defeats them all, leaving them extremely wounded, and then tells Bai that he is on his way to kill demons. This intrigues Bai, so he decides to follow the boy. Later, they end up in a creepy dark cave which is covered in green goo. The demon attacks the boy, but he quickly dodges it and slices it in half. However, a whole lot of them emerge, which makes it difficult for the boy to fight them all. So he runs away, killing as many as he can. As he heads to the entrance, he is blocked by a giant demon. Just as he is being held down by the demon, someone blows its head off. Turns out it was Bai, who cheerfully greeted him. After that, he finishes them all off using his sword swiftly. The little boy is impressed by this but doesn't show it too clearly. The boy seems angry with the cultivators and blames them for messing up the court of Shangusho Kingdom. The boy introduces himself as Tang Wai and asks Bai to come with him to the kingdom so that he can help kill demons and save the people. He even promises him riches and fame, but Bai says to only treat him to dinner. Tang constantly stops Bai from eating since the food may be bewitched or dropped by the witches who run the Delight House. Just then, a woman enters whose name is Su Zong Su. She is the leader of the Blessed Sect and the same woman who gave the secret to Huang Fu. So that he could give it to Bai, he tries to stabilize the situation between the two. Su says that it is not the first time that she has been framed for the rise of demons. After the boy leaves, Su tries to riz Bai, but he is flustered and leaves in a hurry. In a change of scene, Bai is told all the herbs have been sold and bought by officers. He overhears two officers talking about the boy of the Live family, who is weak. Just when the officers are leaving, a child approaches them, asking for food, but they don't know that the child is Bai, who has transformed. Preparations are underway for the worship ceremony in the Shangchuan Kingdom. Grandmaster of this kingdom, Sema, is standing by the king while another man is painting. His painting is inappropriate, to say the least. As the king tries on the robe, Sema tells him that it must be changed as it needs to be perfect, so the king orders to summon more manpower from the kingdom. The two workers leave, worried and irritated with Sema, who is brainwashing the king. However, they stop midway once they see that the eldest princess, Tang Ruwei, is in their way. Somewhere else, Bai has been spying on the palace and is shocked to see the resemblance between the princess and the little boy he met. The princess is convincing her father not to hold the worship ceremony as it has never turned out well, but the king is madly in love with Su, and he tells the princess to marry Sema. She gets angry and points at him for being a cultivator who has ulterior motives. Sema offers Ruwei a rose, but she throws it away. However, her finger is pricked, but she waves off her finger, causing her blood to spill. After she leaves, he extracts the blood from the rose. Around nighttime, Bai is seen escaping the guards in his true form and enters the imperial tombs. After that, he searches through the tombs and takes different items, such as the Night Pearl. He then sees the snakeball sword, but the moment he picks it up, he is attacked by multiple arrows. Just then, someone pulls him in from the secret wall. When he looks up to see, he finds the little boy from before, Tang Wai. They are both shocked to see each other. He tells Bai that the imperial tombs are somehow connected with the recent occurrence of zombies. They both head up the stairs to a giant luxurious door. Upon opening it, they see another tomb, which is the coffin of the founding emperor. But the scary part is that it is 100 years old, yet it is still so clean. They both look down to see red patterns forming around them. Bai says that it's a bloodthirsty array and that it is unsafe, so they must escape. But he doesn't listen and tries to burn the coffin since he wants to save his kingdom. Bai confirms his suspicion that he is actually a princess, but she denies it, saying, "I am man." He forcefully feeds her the Night Pearl, which puts her in a deep sleep. In a change of scene, they are back at the Delight House, where the princess is tied up, and the other two are discussing how to break the array. She is going crazy hearing their suggestions. When she finally breaks free, she shouts at them for planning to hurt her father. It is revealed she is indeed the princess, and has a conversation with Su. Su reveals a scar on her back, shocking the princess. In a change of scene, Su calls Bai back to find the princess crying, but she agrees to their plan. The next day, Ruwei makes her crying father promise not to interfere in her marriage choice, or else she will make Su leave the kingdom, to which he happily agrees. We see that Sue tells the princess her life story, that she is a child of a human and a monster king. Thousands of years ago, a war between humans and monsters broke out, but she was born. He then tried to harm her too, even though she was his daughter. He said she shouldn't have been born. He inflicted his wrath upon them, and as a result, her mother sacrificed herself for Sue. After that, Sue was the only one of his children who fully inherited his monster bloodline, which is why the Monster King wants her back in the monster realm. In a change of scene, the kids are lined up on coffins. Among them is Bai, hiding in pure disguise. Once the guards leave, he transforms into his true self and sprinkles some dust on the kids to wake them up. Meanwhile, the people of the kingdom have gathered for the worship ceremony, and Sema steps up and inaugurates the ceremony. With one tap on the ground, a staircase emerges from the ground, but nothing shows up as the kids are gone. Instead, they come out awake and start cheering on the bride. Just then, Sue shows up, causing confusion everywhere. She then proposes to the king and strictly tells the Grandmaster Sema to inform the Monster King that she is not going back. Bai transforms in front of everyone, which gives Sema a shock. However, he flies up, and his true face is revealed as his mask wears off. He turned out to be a tree monster who wanted to take Sue back. Seeing Bai has enraged him. The king faints as he sees the scene unfold. The Grandmaster is actually Quolio, and he has a spider-like figure. The truth is that Bai killed his mother, which is why he is angry at him and wants revenge. Quolio continues to attack him, even when Sue has interfered. They both engage in a vicious fight, but the outcome is hilarious, as Bai carves furniture out of him and turns him into a chair. He then reveals that the bloodthirsty array won't stop. Just then, a huge red rose emerges from the ground. It was the princess's blood that activated the array, which means that she has inherited the bloodline of Dragon Ball. Blood spreads through the entire place, causing people pain and sucking their blood from them. The princess is the only one who can break the array, but she may die in the process. She goes down to break it off, but finds her ancestor standing on his tomb. She is angry at him and asks if he caused the zombie chaos, to which he agrees happily. She then slits her hand with a knife, causing blood to drip, which she uses to stop the array. But the stupid old man sucks the energy out of her, and the light from the array dims. Bai jumps right in to catch her. Just then, the man exerts power, as the bloodline of the Dragon Ball has led him to the Golden Pill realm. The man goes flying into a wall with one blow from Bai. He then throws him up into the sky and then kicks him right back down. He is fierce and extremely violent with him as he throws him around using all sorts of skills such as the spatial sword and array. Bai ends up breaking every bone in the man's body and throws him back into his coffin. He then picks up the Princess Bridal style as she gives him a thumbs up and brings her up while Sue heals her. She tells Bai to burn the Imperial tombs, and then, with one flick of a burnt paper, he burns it all. A flashback of Bai as a kid is shown, where he is in some ruins surrounded by dead demons. Just then, a man appears from the sky, lending his hand to Bai and asking him to follow the path of cultivation. In the present time, his ghost friend Ling appears. Bai blames him for not taking away the souls. After that, Ling jumps down to take the souls who were bound by the blood array. Sue arrives to say that Wei will be fine, thanks to her blood of the snake ball. We see that Wei tasted it to find that there isn't much special about it. Sue explained the legend where a goddess and the immortal snake fell in love and gave birth to a daughter. This means Wei's blood is precious and must be kept a secret, since revealing it would put her in danger. Wei then wonders if Bai is really so powerful, since he is stuck in the beginner realm. Sue explains that Bai is very unique, and even though he's in the beginner realm, he is respected by cultivators and demons as the sword master. He keeps the order, and if it wasn't for him, the entire realm would be in chaos. Elsewhere, Ling explains to Bai that being reincarnated isn't so bad and urges him to stop resisting his fate, but Bai wants an extension on his life as he is not ready to be reincarnated. He explains that he is close to breaking through to the next realm. Ling laughs at how Bai has been saying the same thing for 3,000 years and points out how there are only 2 days left on his 10-day life extension as he disappears into a portal. Back at the kingdom, the Emperor expresses his gratitude towards Bai for his help and asks that he take care of his daughter from now on. Bai tries to get out of it, but the Emperor explains that she just needs to be trained a bit and that their children will be able to protect the kingdom for a long time. Wei points out that she just needs training and not a husband. Bai explains that he can't since he will be traveling a lot, but Wei says she won't be much of a bother. Bai is still hesitant, and Wei wonders if he is just afraid that she will surpass him. Their bickering is stopped with a celebration dinner, and the two later find themselves in bed. Bai explains that she is probably better off without him, since her blood can make her a target while traveling. Later, Bai is fighting a cloaked man, and we see that it is actually Ling, who is there to explain that Bai's 10-day extension on his life has ended. Bai continues to beg for an extension. Just then, a pearl is thrown into his mouth. Consuming it prolongs his life for another 4 years and 355 days, so Ling must leave. It was thanks to Su, but Bai complains about the bitter taste of the medicine. Su becomes upset, but Bai explains that the document Fen gave him earlier has probably already been translated and leaves. Ling wonders why Su bothers to help Bai so much, but she points out how Ling has always helped him as well. Elsewhere, Wei begs Yunji to have Bai train her, but he explains that he doesn't make those decisions. After hearing how she wants to protect her people, he agrees to help convince him but explains that Bai is training currently and no one dares to bother him. Yunji then explains that there might be a way to see him though. He states how they have recently been attacked by thunder beasts and the repairs have left them with little money. He hints at how her buying something to take to him would help her cause, so Wei agrees to send over a large sum. The next day, Yunji gladly gives her a ride up the mountain. Bai is annoyed to see Wei and demands that all the elders leave since they're just there to hear gossip. Wei explains that they were carrying gifts for him, but he only cares about the partially translated document that Yunji has brought. Bai asks that he leave, but is surprised to see that he has left Wei. That night, Bai explains that students will arrive the next day to take her down the mountain, but she states that she wants to stay and be a student. Bai then turns his attention to the document, but notices that the translation is just as hard to read as the original. However, it turns out that Wei has experience interpreting inscriptions, and he asks her to translate the rest. But he is impatient with her, and she says that she might as well just go back to being an idle princess. Before she can leave, Bai stops her and agrees to make her a student. Later, Bai greets Wei, who he now calls his precious student, as she translates the scripture that holds a secret to his potential breakthrough. Bai brings her soup, which spills and enrages her, so he returns moments later to find that she has finished the translation, but he can't read her writing. She explains that the writing records the existence of someone referred to as the Land Immortal, who is a person free of life and death, but the writing doesn't say anything about how Bai can reach the next realm. He can't believe that's all it says, and assumes that Huang Fu must not have copied everything on the stone scripture, so he decides that he must go copy it himself, and then tells Wei to prepare for some training outside. They wait for the ride, and Fang arrives to explain that he rushed there immediately without even changing clothes first. He is shocked to hear that Bai wants to go to a place called the Great Desolation since he just came from there. Huang Fu explains that he is no idiot and is sure he copied the stone tablet exactly, but Bai convinces him to go by saying he may find a way for himself to reach a higher realm, and tells Wei that it will be her training. She is now hesitant since it sounds like a dangerous place, but Bai promises to protect her. However, the journey is a bit long, and they encounter several exotic animals along the way. One of them is actually quite ferocious, but Huang Fu takes care of it easily, as he isn't humble about it, or how he passed the Immortal's test. Bai points out that his Immortal test was less severe, since he has not done much evil. Those who have done worse things have a more difficult test, sometimes even resulting in the Immortals killing them. They finally arrive at where Fu thinks the tablet was, but there is nothing there except sand. Wei finds a cute set of eyes, but Bai must save her when it turns out to be a vicious monster. Fu kills it, but asks Bai to roll in the sand since he now stinks. Wei is injured though, and the blood from her wound activates a spell that reveals the stone tablet. The tablet is much larger than Fu remembers, and Bai asks Wei to begin translating the second. She touches the tablet, but an earthquake occurs, and an entire city emerges from the ground. The place is quite frightening though, and people can be heard but not seen. Wei mentions how the tablet said something about the Land Immortal being good at spatial magic, and they assume the voices might be from souls in the Hades realm. Bai wonders if she saw anything about having a breakthrough, but she didn't have time to read the rest of the tablet. As they go further into the city, a loud bell can be heard, and Fu points out that their spiritual energy is being taken away. They notice that Bai ended up ahead of them and realize that her low cultivation level had resulted in her being attracted by the bell. He attempts to get Wei to gather her spiritual energy, but she doesn't, and Bai decides to counteract the sound with his own sword. It works, and he tells Fu to get her away from the sound of the bell. Bai finds a tablet so that he can copy the writing. It's simple enough at first, but the tablet starts sinking faster, and Bai has to rush. He manages to finish, but Wei has lost most of her spiritual energy, and they see a spell activate as they leave. Back up Bai's mountain, Huanfu and Yunji check to see how well Wei is recovering. Bai emerges to tell them that they are being too loud and that Wei will make a full recovery since he gave her some of his spiritual energy. Bai hands them a copy of the stone tablet and instructs them to find someone to translate it immediately. Elsewhere, one of the orbs released from the spell at the stone tablet traverses some land and enters a tree. A while later, two travelers find that the area where the tree was now has a large building in its place, and a look inside shows a mysterious person in a robe sitting on a throne. Bai and Wei are training by the waterfall, where he demonstrates his spiritual energy, impressing Wei as the waterfall picks up its speed and becomes more intense. He then emphasizes how spiritual energy requires concentration, so Wei decides to give it a try but is only able to move a droplet, which makes him laugh. However, he assures her that it also took him 3 days, and that it might take longer for her. His eyes almost pop out of his skull when he sees the intensity of her energy on the waterfall. She is even able to make different animal shapes from the water. Somewhere in the forging sect, an old man delivers news to the sect leader, named Lion, that a mysterious city has emerged and that they are being called for backup since cultivators from all realms are disappearing when they visit it. In just a little time, Wei has progressed to level 7 of the Kai refining realm and asks Bai if she will reach the Foundation Establishment realm soon. Just then, she reaches the 8th level, making Bai even more anxious. When he is done worshipping, she is already at level 9. He asks her to translate again. Elsewhere, the soldiers are fighting, and an elder worries that their power has gotten very strong. A reinforcement of beasts drops from the ancient city, causing them to fall back. Just then, a wave radiating from the city makes all the soldiers go crazy. Their eyes turn red, and they are now under a spell as they head towards the city, chanting to kill the Emperor King and revive the Shen dynasty. Suddenly, thousands of arrows are shot in their direction, so Ren casts a barrier. However, Ren is captured and his body is taken hostage by the evil force in the cloak. Elsewhere, Bai is complaining about how Wei has reached the Foundation Establishment realm in 3 days while he has been trying for 3,000 years. But Wei tells him that those who failed to become immortal after breaking through the Great Realm are now immortals on land and are controlling cultivators' minds. Wei informs him that the blood of Dragon Ball can activate the ancient city, which means that they may have activated the land immortals on the day of the worship ceremony. So they head down the hill to meet different leaders from multiple sects whose troops have also disappeared. Someone from the demon sect shows where the ancient city is on the map. Lion is upset over Ren, so they try to comfort him. They all discuss strategies while Bai listens to them. He tells them that the city changes its location frequently. Just then, Lion begs Bai to help his older brother Ren, as he can feel that he is in pain. However, Wei figures out that the city is in the middle of an array. Using a spell, they are finally able to locate it. Everyone reaches the city, including the masters and students from various demon sects who are waiting for Bai as he has gone inside the city. Lion also worries if Bai can get his brother out, but Fu assures him that Bai has comprehensive strength. However, Su and her student make fun of him for lying and for letting Bai beat him. Her student is angry at Fu for not introducing her to Bai, so she asks Wei if Bai will take her in, but her master is upset upon hearing this. In a change of scene, Bai is seen walking in the city, which is strangely too quiet. Just as he runs, crazy soldiers emerge from the ground and attack him. They are the walking disciples. Bai tries to fight them off, but there are too many and he knows they can't be saved. So with one jump, he turns them all to dust and bones. We see that Ren is hanging upside down and is happy to hear someone coming to rescue him, but his consciousness is suppressed by the evil force that has taken over him. Bai fights his way through and kills them all, but he turns to look at them one last time and pays respect to them. He then slams his sword on the ground to stop the waves from hurting him, but Ren tells him to go away, which means he is conscious. So Bai rescues him as he still has the chance to recover. The evil in Ren's body attacks Bai, but he successfully avoids it. Then Ren starts floating in the air, impressed with a strong cultivator like Bai. He retaliates, sends his attacks right back to him, and asks the evil force to leave his body. The city begins to sink back into the ground, but Bai throws his sword at it. He then manages to leave and make it out. Wei walks up to him and slaps him, shocking everyone. She confirms that he is not being controlled by a walking disciple. He turns to tell Lion that he did not want to harm Ren, so he couldn't save him forcefully. This upsets Lion, but he is comforted by Fu. Bai asks Lion if anyone made it out of the city, and he is told about Elder Lu. In a change of scene, we see that Ren is begging the monster to kill him as he is tied up, but the monster in the cloak tells his plan to attract strong cultivators, and for that, he must hurt Ren so that more people come to rescue him. After that, they will end up becoming puppets of the Shen dynasty. However, the evil man is angry to hear that he can't defeat Bai, so he stabs Ren. Meanwhile, Lion also feels the pain at the same time. He then visits the elder who pretends to be sick. He asks if he remembers anything, but the elder only starts to apologize. Just then, Wei and Huang Fu's student enter and offer him Jinjiang soup, but he refuses. However, they forcefully feed it to him as it is actually a potion that will help him remember everything. Wei then asks Lion how he knew that this man is fake. Just then, Lion transforms into Bai and says that he forgot. Lion stutters. They start interrogating the man, and he reveals that he is a land immortal, which shocks them all. He then begins to tell the truth about how the prince has captured Ren and their plans to kill the emperor and revive the Shang dynasty. Meanwhile, the skull mocks the evil in the cloak and calls him out for all the bad things he has done, since they are all just ghosts. It is shown that the ancient city has an army of skeletons who are under the prince's control. It is revealed that the ancient city is a mansion made by the wisdom immortal, who actually is the skull. In a change of scene, Bai and the two girls are done interrogating the fake elder. He calls out for Ling, who appears out of thin air, scaring Wei. She even goes on to question his capability since so many evil ghosts are roaming. He tells Bai to keep her on a leash, so he tries to calm her down. Ling sucks the soul out of the man, but the soul tries to run away. However, it is soon captured by his pouch. He then gives Bai a parchment, which is a counter formation against the spatial skill. Later, Bai calls all the sects, which include the Justice League of Cultivators and the Demon Sect, and asks for their cooperation to fight together. The city only appears every 3 days, so they must come up with a plan soon. He hands out the counter formation to everyone, and then they plan to find the location of the city with the help of Bai's sword. But Fu makes him angry, saying his sword can't fly, so Bai beats him up, saying he can sense its energy. Everyone wonders where Lion is. Just then, a huge figure in warrior attire emerges from the smoke and asks Bai to let him save his older brother. The huge figure is Lion. Bai is going around town, putting up posters to stop people from coming out, as they will get killed because monsters will haunt today. This time, the ancient city will appear in the Shangchuan kingdom, and this really worries the princess. Just then, the city appears, but all the sects and their strongest cultivators are on guard and ready to attack. The sect leaders instruct their students to set the battle array. Su and her sect play music as their form of power, while others follow similar measures, each specific to their sect. Meanwhile, Ren is sitting on a throne, angry at them for ambushing him, so he sends out a red flame, which soon begins to infiltrate the kingdom. The skeleton soldiers emerge from the liquid and spread out, so Yunji commands everyone to attack, and they follow his orders immediately. An entire army of cultivators begins to kill off every skeleton soldier in their way. Su's command to freeze causes these skeletons to come to a halt, making it easier for others to kill them. The evil souls then begin to fly in, but are soon defeated. Bai and Wei watch from the ground, waiting for the prince, but he is too composed, so he sends her up to help them. She then hops on her sword and flies away. Lion appears in his giant form, but Bai stops him from going up. Seeing so many of his army killed, the prince, along with Ren, is finally enraged and decides to go out. The cultivators take a huge hit as he grabs them and kills them. Everyone disbands and goes out to help other sects on Yunji's orders while he decides to hold off Ren on his own. Just as the prince is about to attack Yunji, he is stopped by Lion and takes a huge hit. But he gets up and starts to hurt himself, knowing that this is also hurting Lion. Two brothers engage in battle, attacking one another and taking hits. Ren even tries to fool him, but Lion doesn't fall for it and continues to fight him. The girls inform Bai that everything is prepared. He hops onto Wei's sword and orders them to prepare the array. Lion is taken aback when he sees Ren's body split in half, but it was only an illusion. Ren breaks his armor and grabs him by the neck, his feet in the air. Lion tries to talk him out of his greed for power, but he doesn't budge, so Lion does the unimaginable. He pierces Ren's chest with his sword, causing his rotten soul to come out. Ren then says farewell to Lion and asks him to maintain their essence. Lion gets up to fight as the prince wears his armor. However, the prince is thrown into the wall by a force. He turns to see that it is Bai and Wei, flying on her sword. Bai blabbers so much that she throws him off her sword. As he gets up to talk to Lion, he dodges the prince's attack swiftly. Bai shocks him by asking about the wisdom immortal. He dodges every attack with precision and then uses his energy to attack him, but Bai consistently breaks his armor into pieces. The prince struggles to fight back. His sword breaks, so he uses the one pierced in Ren's chest. The prince figures out the spatial counter formation, which prevents him from teleporting. Just then, Bai steps in and sends him flying with his attack. He breaks the armor once again, causing the prince to come out. It is revealed that the real mansion of the Wisdom Immortal is in another place, and the portal to it has just opened. The prince then challenges Bai as he leaves, and says that he is waiting for him there. Everyone stares at the portal, terrified. Just then, Bai instructs Yunji to check it out, but he acts up and refuses to go. Instead, General Jiang volunteers, but he is soon struck with lightning and is sent to heal. Just then, they are told that the owner of this mansion is an immortal. It can even reincarnate the dead and reverse time and space. Bai orders them all to gather at the Qingming Sword Sect to deploy countermeasures while he stays and assesses the ancient city with his old friend. Meanwhile, the skull reminds the prince that in reality it is his mansion that the prince occupied. In a change of scene, Bai heads over to Ling, who is supervising all the souls from battle heading to the afterlife and being sent to hell. He knows why Bai is here. He asks the same question for the millionth time, if the Wisdom Immortal can help him reach the Foundation Establishment realm, but Ling refuses to tell him anything due to a confidentiality policy. Bai continues to beg him and reminds him of all the favors he has done for him. Ling points toward the space vortex as it holds the answer to his question, but this makes Bai angry as he reminds him that he cannot enter due to the thunder attack. However, Ling spills that it may not affect cultivators of his level and soon disappears, ignoring Bai. He and Wei then return to the Qingming Sword Sect, where everyone is gathered and briefed about the mansion. All the cultivators request Bai to enter the mansion and kill the prince. He praises Yuuzhan for his eloquence, but it turns out that they are motivated due to the treasures hidden in the mansion. But Bai reminds them that they can't just go up. Upon hearing this, they are all disappointed. He leaves them all shocked by revealing his plan to explore the mansion tomorrow. They remind him of the thunder attack, but he still wants to try. Just then, Su comes in, revealing that some cultivators broke into the mansion last night. An individual cultivator fooled Su's students and was able to break in at the cost of other cultivators, as he was driven by the opportunity to become an immortal. It is then confirmed that the thunder attack will not affect those below the Neo-Sent Soul realm. Yunji gets up and urges everyone to hurry up since he is worried that the Sunflower Collection may be taken by other cultivators. Bai gives him an angry look, causing him to feel ashamed. So, it is then decided that the sect will send in disciples from the Foundation Establishment realm. Wei tells Bai that she will go with him. Later, Bai is desperately praying when Wei interrupts him and asks why he won't let her go. He reminds her that it was her blood that activated the mansion in the first place, so it's not safe for her to go. But she still begs him to go, and he can't help but appreciate her passion. So he allows her to go and tells her he won't find a second disciple with her blood. He then hands her 3 bamboo sticks infused with his sword's energy in case of an emergency. She is moved by his care for her, and they are having a moment, but then they are interrupted by Gino, who brings him tea and snacks. Gino informs him that she will accompany him to the mansion and doesn't need her master's permission. Wei then takes her away so that she stops bothering him. We see that the cultivator from before is captured in the mansion while the skull mocks the prince for being weak and desperate for Bai's body, so he decides to use the illusion of 8 pains in life to defeat Bai once he comes. As they prepare to enter, the space vortex attacks the cultivators and throws them back to the ground. Just then, a smoke shaped like a skull tells Bai to stop playing tricks and come in, so he finally goes up to the mansion. Bai is angry at Fu for sending 4 women instead of strong men. Though he is being a simp, he is assured that they are just as powerful as disciples, and Gino is the best among them in the demon sect. Gino acts all cute around him. He is left helpless as Su's sect only has women, but she is also sending her best disciple. Su asks him if he is worried that her disciple will suck him. Just then, Jiang's disciple steps forward and tells him to treat her like a man, but that seems impossible. He gives them all time with their masters so they can see them off. Then, the 4 women prepare themselves to go into the mansion. Wei tells Bai to get on her flying sword, but he refuses and strictly orders them to go first, as he has another way to enter the mansion. He then asks Su for a favor, so she plays her instrument, which creates waves and allows him to walk up into the sky. Her music intensifies, pushing him inside, and the girls then follow him. The prince sees that they have arrived and gives them a little gift. Suddenly, someone's memories start rolling in front of them, but Bai instructs them to ignore them and look ahead. After that, they all pass through another opening where the landscape is completely different. Bai is about to fall, but Gino soon catches up, and they all land safely. Wei then reads the writing on the stone, which states the 8 pains of life. Just then, a portal named the First Pain of Life, Birth, opens up, and they all enter inside it. Once they step out, they see a garden with pink flowers all around them, heart-shaped clouds, and birds on trees. All the girls are captivated by the beauty, but Bai realizes something is off, so he asks them to stop breathing the air as it is a psychedelic. But it is too late. He turns around to see all the girls infatuated with him, begging him to be their boyfriend. Then the girls begin to fight one another, with the winner being the one to marry Bai. They all get competitive and desperate for him, but he constantly reminds them to breathe out the smoke. However, they pay no attention to what he is saying. Meanwhile, the prince is enjoying the show from his throne. Bai screams for them to let go of him, or else he will punish them. So with one huge breath, he sucks in the psychedelic, breaking their illusion along with the illusion of the garden. After breaking free, they are still concerned for him and ask if he is okay, but he just farts on their faces, letting out the smoke he just inhaled. So they all cover their noses in disgust while he tells them that letting it out this way will ensure that he is fine. After that, they all start looking for a way out, but suddenly the walls start caving in on them. It is the birth gate that is trapping them together. But one can simply not outsmart Bai. So he throws his sword up, causing the walls to stop. They are then sucked into the sky, making the prince angry. As they pass this stage, he then throws them into the next by turning a golden button on his throne. To all Leaf Village ninjas. That is it for today. Recap, do not forget to join our clan, our army, my friend. You can do that by clicking that red button below the video. Destroy it for me with that bell. To follow us on YouTube with many videos to come in the following days. So see you later, bro. Peace out.